Alain Delon, a name that evokes images of classic French cinema, undeniable charm, and an enigmatic aura. A man who became a legend, not just for his on-screen performances, but also for his turbulent personal life. But behind the allure of the silver screen, Delon's life was a tale of abandonment, defiance, and heartbreak. This is the story of how a neglected boy became a rebellious youth, a troubled soldier, and finally, one of the most iconic actors of all time. Alain Fabien Maurice Marcel Delon was born on November 8, 1935, in Sceaux, France. At first glance, one might assume he was destined for greatness, but Delon's childhood was anything but idyllic. His parents, Edith and Fabien Delon, divorced when he was just 4 years old. That single event shattered his sense of stability, thrusting him into a world of uncertainty. His mother soon remarried, and Delon found himself uprooted from the familiarity of his home. His stepfather, though present, never truly filled the emotional void left by his biological father. The young boy was shuffled between different homes and schools, never truly belonging anywhere. Each relocation chipped away at his innocence, leaving behind a hardened, rebellious spirit. Delon was not an easy child to raise. His defiant nature made him difficult for his family and teachers to handle. He was expelled from multiple schools due to his disruptive behavior. But his rebellious streak was not born from malice, it was a shield against the deep-seated loneliness he carried. With no parental guidance to anchor him, Delon was forced to navigate life on his own terms. At 17, Delon made a decision that would shape him in ways he could never have anticipated. He joined the French Navy, seeking discipline, purpose, or perhaps simply an escape from his troubled youth. Delon was sent to Indochina, where he served in the First Indochina War. However, the strict military environment clashed with his inherently rebellious nature. He quickly gained a reputation for insubordination, leading to disciplinary actions that would eventually cut his military service short. Though he left the Navy with no formal accolades, the experience hardened him, giving him a taste of the harsh realities of life. It was a lesson in survival, one that would later manifest in the intense, brooding characters he portrayed on screen. Upon returning to France, Delon found himself drifting through life, unsure of what lay ahead. He took on odd jobs, spending time in Marseille, a city teeming with a dangerous underbelly of crime. He became acquainted with figures from the criminal world, men whose presence and demeanor would later influence his on-screen persona. Delon's time in Marseille exposed him to a raw, unfiltered version of life, one where loyalty and betrayal coexisted in equal measure. Fate had other plans for Delon. His striking looks and magnetic presence did not go unnoticed. When he was spotted by a film producer at the Cannes Film Festival in 1957, an opportunity arose that would change his life forever. He was offered a screen test, and the results were undeniable. Delon had something special. That rebellious fire, that air of mystery, it translated effortlessly onto the screen. His early film roles mirrored his past, often portraying characters who were outsiders, rebels, or men with a dark past. It was as if the ghosts of his childhood and military experiences found a new home within his performances. Delon's breakthrough came with films like Purple Noon, 1960, where he played the charming yet sinister Tom Ripley. Audiences were captivated. A star was born. At the height of his rising fame, Delon met Romy Schneider, an Austrian actress already celebrated for her role as Sissi, the young empress. Their first encounter was not one of instant attraction. In fact, they initially disliked each other, but as they spent more time together, a deep, passionate romance blossomed. They became the golden couple of European cinema, young, beautiful, and seemingly inseparable. But their love story was anything but smooth. Both actors were fiercely ambitious, constantly juggling demanding film schedules that kept them apart for months at a time. The distance, the pressures of fame, and their own personal demons slowly chipped away at their once unbreakable bond. Despite the love they shared, Delon eventually made a decisive and painful choice. He ended their relationship. The breakup devastated Schneider, leaving her heartbroken and emotionally shattered. While Delon moved on to other relationships, Schneider never truly recovered from the loss. She struggled with depression, and her tragic death in 1982 left an indelible mark on Delon's soul. Years later, Delon openly admitted that Romy was the greatest love of his life. Despite their painful separation, their love story remained one of the most unforgettable and tragic romances in cinematic history. Alain Delon's life has been a tapestry woven with triumphs and tragedies. From an unstable childhood to a rebellious youth, from a troubled soldier to a cinematic icon, his journey was never linear, never predictable. He loved intensely, lived boldly, and carried the scars of his past with him throughout his life. Even as time has passed, his legacy endures. He remains one of the greatest actors of his era, a man whose presence on screen was as magnetic as his presence in real life. But beneath the legend, beneath the fame, he remains that little boy who once longed for stability and love. This is Alain Delon's story, a life filled with passion, pain, and an undying legacy.